Let me tell you a story, a rather curious one that I think you'll find quite interesting. It's a story about human behavior, about societal expectations, and about the surprising power of, well, you'll see. It all starts with a seemingly ordinary day, but trust me, it takes a turn you won't expect. So settle in, open your mind, and let's dive into this intriguing tale. Picture this: a crisp morning, the sun just beginning to peek over the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink. The city is slowly waking up, the sounds of distant traffic gradually increasing. Dave is speeding, way over the limit, late for a meeting he absolutely cannot miss. He glances at the speedometer, a bead of sweat trickling down his forehead. The pressure is mounting, and he's pushing the pedal to the metal. Consequences be damned. He's got unpaid tickets, a stack of them tucked away in his glove compartment, a constant reminder of his reckless driving habits, each one a little paper time bomb waiting to explode. Expired registration, a detail he's conveniently overlooked in his frantic rush through life. The little sticker on his license plate, a faded ghost of its former self, and was just texting about a cat video. A hilarious clip his friend sent, momentarily distracting him from the road, his eyes glued to the screen instead of the traffic ahead. The irony, of course, is palpable. A police officer pulls him over, the flashing lights of the patrol car cutting through the morning haze, a stark signal that Dave's luck has run out. The officer approaches, his expression unreadable. Dave knows he's in trouble. A wave of dread washes over him as he anticipates the lecture, the fine, the points on his license, the potential increase in his insurance rates. So, what does he do? He frantically searches for an escape, a loophole, any way to avoid the inevitable consequences of his actions. His mind races, desperately seeking a solution. He starts to cry. Not a dramatic sob, just a few quiet tears, a subtle display of vulnerability, carefully calculated to elicit sympathy. A shaky voice, barely above a whisper, laced with a hint of desperation. And a story about being stressed from work and his sick dog. A carefully crafted narrative designed to tug at the officer's heartstrings, a plea for understanding and leniency. The officer, ready to write a ticket, pen poised above the citation book, prepared to deliver the standard lecture, suddenly softens. The hard edge in his eyes begins to fade, replaced by a flicker of something akin to compassion. The stern look fades, sympathy replaces it. The officer's posture relaxes, his voice becomes gentler, and he seems to genuinely consider Dave's plight. The officer lets Dave off with a warning. A verbal reprimand, a stern reminder to drive safely, and a release from the impending doom of a hefty fine. Dave drives away, a sense of disbelief washing over him, the near disaster fading in his rearview mirror. Tears gone, stress vanished. The weight on his shoulders lifts, replaced by a lightness he hadn't felt in days. He even chuckles, a low, almost incredulous sound, marveling at the unexpected turn of events. He played the crying card, and it worked. He successfully navigated a potentially disastrous situation by tapping into the power of perceived vulnerability. Why? Because it was unexpected. It defied the norms, challenged the assumptions, and caught the officer completely off guard. A grown man crying on the side of the road? It's not exactly an everyday occurrence, is it? It seemed real. The tears, the shaky voice, the heartfelt story, it all combined to create a convincing display of genuine emotion. This isn't just about getting out of a ticket, it's about perception. It's about how we interpret the actions and emotions of others, and how those interpretations shape our responses. Society has unwritten rules, deeply ingrained expectations that dictate how we're supposed to behave, especially when it comes to expressing emotions. About who's allowed to be emotional. These rules often vary based on gender, age, and social status, creating a complex web of expectations. When someone breaks those rules, it catches our attention. It disrupts our expectations and forces us to reevaluate our assumptions. Dave's tears worked because they were rare, an unexpected display of vulnerability from someone who, according to societal norms, shouldn't be crying. A secret weapon, a surprising and effective tool that he wielded to his advantage. Surprising and believable. The key was the believability. The officer had to believe that Dave's emotions were genuine. That's the power of unexpected emotion. It can disarm, persuade, and even manipulate, challenging our perceptions and forcing us to reconsider our assumptions about the world around us. It's a reminder that emotions, even those we deem inappropriate, can be incredibly powerful tools. We've all heard the phrase, crocodile tears. It's a saying that's been around for centuries, conjuring up images of reptiles shedding tears. But what does it really mean? And where did this strange expression even come from? Let's dive into the meaning and explore the history behind this intriguing idiom. It means fake tears, an insincere display of emotion. Think of it as someone putting on an act, pretending to be sad or remorseful when they don't genuinely feel that way. It's the kind of performance you might see on stage, but unfortunately, it sometimes happens in real life too. Crying on the outside, but not feeling it inside. It's a disconnect between what someone is showing and what they're actually experiencing. The tears might be flowing, but the heart isn't in it. It's a performance, a charade designed to elicit a specific reaction from others. It's emotional acting, a performance for an audience. The person shedding crocodile tears is essentially playing a role, hoping to convince those around them of their supposed distress. They're crafting a narrative, using tears as a prop to manipulate the situation. Why do people fake it? What motivates someone to resort to such deceptive tactics? Is it a calculated move or a subconscious response to a difficult situation? Understanding the underlying reasons can help us better recognize and navigate these situations. To manipulate, crocodile tears are often a tool used to control or influence others. By feigning sadness, someone might try to guilt trip you into doing what they want or to distract you from their own wrongdoings. Gain sympathy. Who can resist offering comfort to someone who appears to be in distress? Fake tears can be a way to tap into our natural inclination to help those who are suffering, even if the suffering isn't real, or get out of trouble, like Dave. Maybe Dave made a mistake and now he's trying to avoid the consequences by turning on the waterworks. It's a classic move, but one that can be surprisingly effective. Crying can flip a situation. It can instantly change the dynamic, shifting the focus from the issue at hand to the person who's crying. It's a powerful emotional tool, and when used insincerely, it can be incredibly manipulative, turning anger into comfort. What starts as a heated argument can quickly dissolve into a comforting embrace if someone starts crying. The tears act as a circuit breaker, disrupting the flow of anger and triggering our nurturing instincts. The goal: trigger a real emotional response in others. Crocodile tears are designed to bypass our rational thinking and tap directly into our emotions. The person faking it wants you to feel something, to react in a way that benefits them. We're wired to feel empathy when we see tears. It's a deeply ingrained response, a survival mechanism that helps us connect with and care for one another. Tears signal vulnerability, and our natural instinct is to protect and comfort those who are vulnerable. People who fake it exploit that instinct. They're taking advantage of our innate empathy, using our own good nature against us. It's a form of emotional manipulation, and it can be incredibly damaging to relationships. They want you to believe their feelings are authentic. The key to pulling off crocodile tears is believability. The person faking it needs to convince you that their emotions are genuine, that they're truly feeling the sadness or remorse they're portraying. It's a shortcut to forgiveness. Instead of taking responsibility for their actions and genuinely apologizing, someone might use fake tears to elicit forgiveness without truly earning it. It's a way to bypass the hard work of making amends. A second chance. Crocodile tears can be a way to wipe the slate clean, to get another shot without having to face the consequences of past behavior. It's a manipulative tactic that preys on our desire to believe in redemption, or just to be left alone. Sometimes people use fake tears to avoid confrontation or to get others to back off. It's a way to shut down a conversation or to escape a situation they don't want to be in. But if everyone fakes it, tears lose their power. The more we encounter insincere displays of emotion, the more jaded we become. Tears lose their impact, and it becomes harder to trust anyone's emotional expressions. We become suspicious, even of real sadness. The constant exposure to fake tears can erode our ability to empathize, making us question the authenticity of genuine emotions. It's a sad consequence of manipulation. That's why we're obsessed with spotting the fakes. We want to protect ourselves from being manipulated to avoid falling victim to someone else's deceptive tactics. We become amateur detectives, scrutinizing every tear and facial expression. Nobody likes being played, especially with emotions. Our emotions are precious and vulnerable, and when someone uses fake tears to manipulate them, it feels like a deep betrayal. It's a violation of trust that can be difficult to forgive. So how do we tell real tears from fake? Scientists in Poland wanted to find out. They showed people photos, neutral faces, then the same faces with digital tears added. No context, no story, just a face and a tear. The faces were rated for warmth, friendly, kind, and dominance, confident, assertive. Participants had to judge. Are these tears real or fake? The experiment tested if our gut feelings and stereotypes influence whose sadness we believe. Would we trust the tears of someone who looks warm or someone who looks tough? With all other clues removed, it was a test of our biases. The study asked, when all else is equal, whose sadness do you buy? The answers reveal more about us than about the faces in the photos. The results? Surprising. People believed tears were more genuine on faces rated low in warmth, not the friendly ones. But the biggest finding, men's tears were seen as far more believable than women's. When a man's face had a tear, people assumed it was real. This flips the stereotype that women are the emotional ones. Because women are seen as crying more, their tears seem less significant or even manipulative. A man crying? That's rare, so it must be serious. The tears that surprise us are the ones we trust. Tough-looking people, and especially men, have their tears taken more seriously. It's a fascinating look at our unconscious judgments. Why do we believe men's tears more? It's all about surprise. Society teaches men to be stoic, to hide emotion. So when a man cries, it's a big deal, a crack in the armor. We assume something huge must have happened. His tears are rare, so they seem more valuable and believable. Women, on the other hand, are expected to cry more. Their tears are accepted but sometimes dismissed as just emotional. The more common the tears, the less weight they carry. The same goes for people who look tough or unemotional. When they cry, it shatters expectations. Their tears feel more significant because they're so rare. It's the shock value that convinces us. Unexpected emotion is powerful. Ever been caught in a situation where you suspect someone's putting on an act? Maybe they're trying to manipulate you with a display of emotion? Want to spot crocodile tears before they sway your judgment? It's a skill that can save you from a lot of heartache and trouble. Here's how to become a discerning observer. We'll break down the key indicators, drawing from research and psychological insights to help you distinguish genuine emotion from a calculated performance. First, check the timing. How quickly did the tears appear after the triggering event? And how long do they last? Real sadness lingers. It's not a tap that can be turned on and off at will. It tends to hang around, coloring the person's mood and behavior for a noticeable period. But fake tears can turn off instantly, often the moment the desired outcome is achieved. It's like a light switch on for effect, off when the effect has worked. If someone's sobbing, really going for it, then suddenly fine, even cheerful when they get what they want, red flag. That's a major warning sign that you're dealing with manipulation, not genuine distress. Watch the whole face, not just the eyes. Genuine emotion involves a complex interplay of muscles. Real crying involves the eyes and muscles, particularly around the mouth and forehead. These muscles contract involuntarily when we're truly feeling something. It's not just tears, it's the entire facial expression that conveys authentic emotion. Fake crying often looks disconnected. The tears might be there, tears without emotion. The rest of the face remains relatively still, betraying the lack of genuine feeling. Listen to their speech carefully. The way someone speaks when they're upset can be very telling. Fakers might pause weirdly, as if searching for the right words to say, or sound too rehearsed, like they're reciting a script. Real emotion is messy. It disrupts our ability to speak clearly and coherently. In contrast, fake emotion is often polished, carefully constructed to elicit a specific response. Genuine sadness makes people stumble over words, hesitate, and lose their train of thought. A perfect monologue of sadness delivered flawlessly, suspicious. It suggests careful planning rather than spontaneous emotion. Notice how they wipe their tears. This seemingly small detail can reveal a lot. Real crying is ugly. Runny nose, red face, blotchy skin. No concern for appearance. When someone is truly upset, their appearance is the last thing on their mind. Fakers might dab delicately, careful not to smudge their makeup or ruin their hair, making sure you see the tear glistening on their cheek, perfectly framed for maximum impact. If the crying looks too perfect, too theatrical, like it belongs on a stage, it might be a performance. Remember, it's not just the tears, it's the whole act. Consider the entire context, the person's history, and their motivations. Trust your instincts, that gut feeling that something isn't quite right, but also be aware of your own biases. Are you predisposed to distrust this person? Not all tears are created equal, and not all crying is manipulative. Sometimes people are genuinely hurting. The key is to observe carefully, consider the context, and trust your judgment. Crocodile tears is a vivid phrase, but where did it come from? Shakespeare used it in Othello to suggest women's tears were deceptive. But the idea goes back to a 14th century book, The Travels of Sir John Mandeville. It claimed crocodiles cry to lure victims, Completely made up, but memorable. The image stuck, a predator weeping insincerely before attacking. It became the perfect metaphor for fake sadness. Over centuries, writers used it to describe insincere grief. The phrase became shorthand for betrayal, showing sadness while feeling none. Even though crocodiles don't cry to trick anyone, the story was too good to let go. It's a powerful metaphor for being duped by a performance. All from a wild medieval tale. So, do crocodiles actually cry? Yes, but not for emotional reasons. Their tears are purely biological. When crocodiles eat, air pressure forces tears from their glands. It's just a side effect of eating, not sadness. Their tears also keep their eyes clean and healthy. It's a practical, not emotional process. The myth got one thing right. Crocodiles do tear up when they eat, but it's not fake sadness. It's just biology. We projected our emotions onto an animal's bodily function. The crocodile isn't a hypocrite, it's just hungry. Why does any of this matter? Because tears are powerful signals. Real tears build trust and empathy. Fake tears poison that trust, making us cynical. If we doubt all tears, real pain goes ignored. Understanding our biases, like believing men's tears more, helps us be fairer. It's not about being a lie detector, but about emotion.